live. We're going live. Live is where we're gonna go when it's time to go live.
Hello, welcome to this week's episode of TV Tuesday, because it is still Tuesday.
It is still Tuesday,
even though it's 10 o'clock at night. That's okay. Make sure you check out our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com. Thank you so much for watching us exclusively on YouTube. Okay, what do you want to talk about on TV?
What do you want to talk about? Maybe you need to talk.
No, I want you to start. I have a very short list, so I'm saving it.
I have a short list too, but you at the top of it.
Whatever. What's
All
that?
right. Well, I guess the first show. Well, there's a couple of new shows that's old, and this one's one we both watched.
Oh, what's that?
And we didn't do an episode last week. We've had a lot going on last week.
Yeah, and I thought I was going to talk about something last week, and now I don't remember. So maybe it'll come to me.
Well, we got some family stuff going on. We had some family surgeries happening. People in the hospital.
There's just too much happening.
Different news happening that quite life not ready for. Then we had other stuff going on last week with screenings and work, and it just was crazy. But we're back today.
We're back.
We promise we'll be back during the day, but most of y'all don't watch anyway. So what's the matter?
It does.
Stop complaining. You ain't watching us during the day either, are you?
No. All right.
Anyway, so one of the new shows that it's been on for a few weeks now, but I don't think we've talked about it yet. It's called The Misery Index.
Oh,
which you don't know what it is. It's is it on TBS? I think it's TBS.
Yes.
But it's the new game show with the Impractical Jokers. It's basically two contestants. Excuse me. Each contestant gets two jokers, and then they take different things on the internet, like memes or videos or just different news stories, and then they talk about what level of misery or trauma that it could cause. They have to guess it and go from there. So we're huge Impractical Jokers fans.
He's huge Impractical
I'm huge.
Jokers
She's a big fan now too.
There's just certain things they do that crack me up.
I know, and it never makes sense why they make her laugh.
No, it's random things.
There's one random one that I know will make her laugh every time, and it's a Texas episode.
It's the one where they're at the ranch.
And it's when Sal falls down. So anytime I see
and then when Joe's walking and they're like, get lowered. So
when he's doing the nobody can see you what you're doing. Oh, Jesus Christ.
He's trying to rope the cow, but he's walking like this. That's the funniest thing.
Lord have mercy.
And then when he does the whip, and he whips himself with the arm, and he's like.
So what's funny is when she used to travel a lot for work, like if I was watching that show,
so
I would record the link of just Sal falling down.
Oh, it's so funny.
I'd message her to her like in another side of the world. And so she does it. She does it in the house stuff. Anyway, but they have a new game show called The Misery Index, so obviously we had to check it out.
Yes.
So what did you think of it?
I really like it. It's a bizarre little show, but it's very.
It almost has no purpose.
It doesn't.
I mean, I know they win money and whatnot, but it's like nobody seems to be against each other on that show. It's just everybody seems to be trying to make the other one laugh, and it just kind of whatever happens.
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit bizarre. So the host is Jamil from The Good Place.
It's from The Good Place?
Yeah.
Okay.
And most of y'all know from that. But basically, they rate bad things that have happened to people on a misery index.
And it can be something like, how traumatic do you think this is and compared to this thing?
Yes.
Or which one would be more traumatic? So, like, one was like punishment from, like, it was going to be traumatic of a kid who ate a Pop-Tart and got in trouble, so they got sent to the forest.
But this isn't something that actually really
these
happened.
things really happen. So the kid got sent to the forest for eating a Pop-Tart without permission, and then the other one was being breastfed till like 9 years old. Which one think was more traumatic to their bigger thing? So she looks like she's up to shenanigans.
I know. Hold on.
Although we got a cat situation happening. Well, she just came out of the litter box. Vader,
okay, come here. Sorry.
You're safe. Now she walked over to the door area, which is probably
she's
not
fine.
Good. So anyway, go ahead.
So it's interesting. It's very bizarre. It's a bizarre little show, but I like it. I think it's kind of fun.
It is.
And you can play along at home because we're trying to decide, okay, what number do you think this is on the misery scale? And it's kind of fun. I think people like to see other people's misery anyway. I think that's just human nature. You want to see what bad things have happened to someone else because it makes you feel good, like, oh, at least that hasn't happened to me. So,
sorry, we were having a cat-dog standoff over here.
Oh, Lord.
That never ends well with these two. So anyway, but yeah, it's a little silly show. It doesn't seem to overly have a point other than people trying to win money and
and you get to hang out with the Impractical Jokers.
Yeah, and it's funny. It almost like seems like she doesn't like them. Did you ever get that vibe?
I think it's on purpose.
I do too. I think it's her personality, but I don't think it may be because I think she's English.
Yeah. They don't translate well to funny.
Maybe they're jokes that she doesn't find funny, or
yeah,
she
that's what
doesn't
I'm
get
saying.
it sometimes.
Their funny doesn't translate to our funny.
But it also could be just part of the act of their persona.
Yes.
They say, "Hey, you act like you're annoyed with
You're
us."
put off.
Yeah. So, but it does is like they make jokes, and then she's like,
mm-hmm.
and it has kind of an uncomfortable feel sometimes that I think makes it work better.
I do. I like it. It's so
anyway,
funny.
so it's the misery index.
And then it's funny. The most random thing to me is that the staging and the way she dresses like we're in a 70s game show. Have you noticed? It's very bizarre. It's a bizarre little show, and so you have to watch it just for that reason.
Yeah.
So go watch it.
If you like the Impractical Jokers, you'll like the show. It's not as funny as Impractical Jokers because they're not really doing stuff to each other, whatever. But they do use Impractical Jokers on the show.
They do.
So they'll take like a punishment that somebody went through, and they'll put it on the misery index.
Yeah, they'll rate
say,
it and be like,
I think this was less or more traumatizing than these situations.
So funny. It's bizarre.
It is fun. But
you need to check it out.
Misery Index is on TBS, I believe it is. So, all right, moving on. What else
you go. All right, so I stumbled upon a little show today on Netflix. It is a little talk show called Shine On, starring Reese Witherspoon.
Is this her talk show thing?
This is her little talk show thing. And it says it came out last year, but where have I been? But basically, the point of her show is she interviews women.
People with pointy chins?
All over. So actors, musicians, directors, singer. I mean, all over across the board, but important and influential women, just to learn about their careers and the obstacles they've had to overcome and still what they're doing.
They haven't interviewed you.
I know, right?
You're very influential.
Just what they're doing. So, like, the first episode's like Dolly Parton and how she's been an influence. And she has been a groundbreaker in her industry as far as music and talent, and having to overcome. Yeah, that too. Having to overcome. And so, I mean,
she's got a new show coming out too.
Good for her. And directors. And I mean, it's just fascinating show just to learn about these important women. So I think it's cool. You should
speaking
check
of Dolly Parton, and in a recent interview, Dolly Parton's running around promoting that new show thing or whatever she's got. It's a show. It's kind of it's not out yet, I don't believe, but I think it's kind of like an anthology type show where it's like each episode or I don't know if it's a few things in each episode, but it's something about like, I don't know if it takes a song or if it's some story, whatever, but then they do different like little story situations. So it might be a Western or it might be current page or whatever, but it's something related to Dolly Parton's nonsense.
Don't know. We'll find out.
But I think I don't know if it's based on her music or just ideas or her life or what. I don't remember what it is. But in speaking of sad news with Dolly Parton, in those interviews, they said that they believe that the 9 to 5 sequel is dead.
No, I want to see it.
So I don't think that's going to happen.
But babe,
it's not TV news, but it makes me sad because I love that movie.
Man, what a way to make.
But I can't make anything because Jane Fonda keeps getting arrested.
Well, she's an activist, and I support what she's doing.
I didn't say she's trying
to make change happen. And at least
change.
All aware.
Change.
We need to do something about the climate situation.
We'll turn the AC
down.
Babe,
in the planet.
Oh.
We're killing our planet.
What is this fool doing?
So, anyways.
Anya, don't go over there.
I'm so sad about 9 to 5.
Come here.
Oh, well. What else you got?
Anyway, that's not really movie news, but I mean TV news. But anyway, all right. So, another show, there's a couple of not new shows, but everything I'm talking about now is all new seasons and stuff, and it's all stuff you don't watch.
That's okay.
So it's all
Tell me about it.
It's either shows that I was into, something I'm just new into. So the new season 2 of Jack Ryan has started.
Oh, cool! I listened to season 1 of Jack Ryan.
You seasoned like 2 or 3 episodes.
I told you we couldn't trust that lady.
That was the last 2 or 3 episodes you heard while you were cooking. Right. And I was up in my office. But by that time,
how is Jim doing the show? Is he good?
He's awesome in the show.
Is he all buffed up?
No, because Jack Ryan is not an action guy. Jack Ryan is an analyst. Who keeps getting thrust into stuff. No, he shoots people and stuff.
Okay.
But he gets thrown into it. Like in the first episode, I've only watched the first episode of the season because I'm in the middle of watching something else that I'll talk about that I actually have to review. This show I watch that I'll probably review when they release the Blu-ray of the first season. I mean, the new season, but I'm actually watching it this time. Like when I watched the first season, I didn't watch it until they sent me the first season on Blu-ray. I was behind. It's an Amazon show if you haven't seen it. But it is based on the movies, or not the movies, but the book. But the Jack Ryan character, if you're not aware, there was a whole series of movies with The Hunt for Red October, Clear and Present Danger, Patriot Games. I think there's one that was just called Jack Ryan. I forgot what the other one was. Ben Affleck played him. So there's been different actors. So you've had Harrison Ford, you've had Alec Baldwin, Chris Pine, Ben Affleck, and now you got John Krasinski
from The Office. Jim from The Office.
Yeah, who's also writer director of the Quiet Ones, which they just finished shooting Quiet Ones too.
Quiet Place. Is it a Quiet Place?
Quiet Place, yes, that's what I said. Anyway, so the new season kind of jumps ahead from the events of last season. He's in a different position, but it is still a lot of the same, the espionage and whatnot. They recreate a similar sequence. It's not the same storyline, but I want to say it's in Clear and Present Danger, where there's a sequence where they're all in like a convoy of cars and there's rockets are blowing them up.
Nice.
So they do a whole sequence this time with same kind of thing, and he's in there and there's shootouts and stuff. So it's a really, really great show. It's heavy. He's really good in it, and like I said, he is an action guy in the movie, but he is an ex-Marine, so he has training, so he knows how to use a gun and stuff. But he's an analyst, but there's a lot of mind game stuff, so he's like deciphering a terrorist attack or this, and before it happens, and this, then he's got to get stuck in there. And so the whole first season was him going from being some generic analyst to saving the world from this terrorist attack that was going to happen. And so now the new one, he's in the CIA, and he's kind of got an elevated position, a little more important now.
Yeah.
So, and then you got some new stuff. So the new season's hit Amazon, and Anya, good morning. She's all behind. Come here. Come up here.
Come here.
Come here. But it's on Amazon now. It's a great show. You should check it out. You should watch it. And you don't need to see any of the movies. It's its own origin story, the first episode, and then it just goes into whatever's new. So I don't know how many seasons we're going to get, but the new season is good so far.
Cool.
What else you got?
This is exciting. Loaded up the Apple TV this week. I'm fancy.
Oh, that's right.
I have Apple TV now. And I started watching Dickinson, which is
it like an adult film?
No, it's the Emily Dickinson.
Angie Dickinson?
It's about Emily Dickinson, the writer. And it stars Haley Steinfeld.
From the famed show Seinfeld.
No, most of you may know her from her Bumblebee.
Was it Pitch
or
Perfect?
For Pitch Perfect.
She did like the
2
third
and
one.
3.
Was she in 2 and 3?
Yes. Or if you've seen her in concert. I've seen her in concert, actually.
You've seen her?
Yeah.
When did you see her?
She was the opening act when I went to go see
the fat girl?
The cute, chunky girl. What's her name?
We give her 2 different descriptions.
Yeah, she's a chunky girl. No, the other one.
The one, the Booty's Money song.
Yeah, her.
Anyway, I didn't know she was the open act for that.
Yeah, she was the opening act. I told you about that. Anyway,
I don't listen
but it also has Jane Krakowski, who is super funny. I love this lady. She's that funny lady that's in everything. Anyhow, it's interesting because it's telling you the story of Emily Dickinson, but in a modern way. So,
does it take place in the modern time?
No, the costumes and the time setting is traditional period.
But like the
dialogue's like, "Hey, what's up?"
They're not saying like force authenticity.
Exactly. Yeah. But she is
which is just the opposite of what they did with the Romeo and Juliet movie when they made it modern time, but they still use the original dialogue.
Yes, that to me makes it more difficult to understand. Poor Leonardo, he was trying to
it was a good movie. I like that movie.
And these. Anyways, no, I like it. It's a little bit of a weird vibe. Because you have to get into it. So I've only watched the first episode, and it takes about half an episode to really kind of get into the vibe of what's happening. But it's typical time period of the piece. She's old now because she's like 18 or 19, so she should have been married by now. So they're trying to marry her off, but she's a free spirit trying to write poetry and stories and things, and they don't like that because they're like, no, you need to learn how to take care of a house. And she's like, I don't want to do that. And her mom's like, well, what else are you going to do? Like the idea of doing something different doesn't cross her mind. And if you know the history of Emily Dickinson, she was like, I don't think she got married. She lived in the same house for her entire life.
You don't know, now you have a show to find out about it.
So it's actually really interesting. I like Haley Steinfeld. We'll see how it goes. Don't know yet. The jury is out. But Apple TV is awesome. And we have more shows to start watching on Apple TV.
There's also talking about that she may be up to play the lead in the Hawkeye TV series on Disney Plus, because the whole premise of the new show is the Hawkeye is basically trained. I believe it's his daughter who becomes the new Hawkeye.
That'd be cool.
In the comic too, because in the movie he's teaching her how to shoot.
Yeah, the bow.
So the problem is, I read an interview with her recently that she was concerned about the show because now there's all this controversy with Jeremy Renner, Disney has said they're going to stand behind him and not recast
What
him.
did Jeremy Renner do?
Oh, there's a whole thing about he had this really nasty breakup.
Oh, that's too bad.
Years, I think it was even before he became Hawkeye. There was this whole thing with his ex and how she was accusing him all this stuff and this horrible breakup. And he came out as like, I didn't do anything. This lady's crazy. And then it kind of just went away.
Yeah.
And now it's supposed to come back up and said that in a drunk-fueled rage, he threatened to kill her and himself. And years ago, like it's all coming back because they're fighting for custody now.
Oh, that's too bad.
She's coming out with stuff. He's saying the lady's just crazy and
probably
all because of custody. So then they said, "Oh, he's gonna be in jeopardy of doing this." And then she came back and Disney has said they stand behind him. They were not gonna recast him, but she said in some interview she wasn't sure what the status of the show is now because they don't know what they're going to. Because Jeremy Renner was going to be in the show, but it was really about passing the torch.
Passing it on to her.
So
we'll see.
We'll see.
Anyways, hopefully this next week we're going to start the other show on Apple TV, which is C.
Oh, I can't wait to watch that with Jason Momoa.
Yeah, and I want to see this. I think we need to see the morning show.
I've heard mixed things. I had some people talk about. Is that who's in this?
It's Steve Carell with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon.
Well, some people were saying it's really good, but then I've heard other people say it's super dull and boring, and it was a failed misstep of Apple TV's launch. That they're saying that it's not doing well because they're launching a show that's not very good and whatnot. So, but I don't know. I haven't seen it.
But they have a bunch of like just fresh things.
I know, but that was like that was the show that kind of launched Apple TV. Yeah. So now it's got some other stuff happening, but it's only got this week, and then Disney Plus launches next week.
Yeah, so
which is going to be the big deal with Mandalorian.
Yeah, it could take over everything.
Yeah, so moving on another show that I actually watch is a Netflix show. Season 3 has started of Atypical.
Yes, you were excited about this.
Which Atypical, if you've never seen it, it stars Michael Rappaport. I believe it's Jennifer Jason Leigh, whatever her name is. It's a story about a family who it's a mother, a father, a daughter, and a son. The son is on the spectrum, and so it's about them basically their lives. And from through the first 2 seasons, we get to season 3, the boy's going off to college, so he's trying to figure out his place of being on the spectrum and dealing with his issues and being around people. And he wants to stay in the dorms because he makes new friends, but then the friends aren't what they seem to be. And
college is hard.
So it's kind of a drama comedy thing. And then the mom and dad have an issue because there was an affair situation one season. The daughter is dealing with her own sexuality of having a boyfriend, but has this friend that she may have feelings for. So there's a lot of stuff happening. And it gets heavy. It's a heavier show than it is it's not like a Mom where it's a sitcom that happens to be heavy. This is more of a drama show that happens to have funny moments kind of thing. Yeah. First season is awesome. The second season was good. I thought it had some missteps, not in a bad way. It just kind of felt like it felt like it was riding on the coattails of the first season. It hadn't really done anything new. This new season, I've only watched first 1 or 2 episodes. It seems to be with the college stuff. It's adding new stuff because now there's even there's a group that he goes to. There's actually a whole group of people on the spectrum and different things, and they're entertaining to watch because it makes me wonder if some of these people really are, because the lead actor is not. Yeah. But the other ones, they're either really great actors or they're really people that might be on the spectrum, and so they say stuff like, "There's this one girl who's my favorite," and it comes over to her. She's very matter of fact about stuff, and he is kind of too. But they're talking about this and this, and she's like, they say it was like anybody that's on the spectrum or something, there's like 1 in 5 people will make it through college dealing with this stuff. And she's like, the statistics say that's 1 in 5 people, and there's 6 of us, and everybody's like, now he spends the whole episode freaking out like, oh my God, 1 in 5, 1 in 5, 1 in 5, 1 in 5, and then he's also got a girlfriend and she wants to have sex. And everything keeps messing up, and it's a whole ordeal. You got to see the show.
It's got to be difficult.
Michael Rappaport, who's somebody he's hard to watch on this show now. I love Michael Rappaport.
I know you do.
I've been a fan of his.
A bit annoying.
He is, and I've been a fan of his since he made his first film, Zebrahead, back in the 90s, I think it was. I discovered it in a video store. I just watched it. That was his very first movie, and I've been a fan ever since. So I've kind of followed his career. He comes on Howard Stern all the time.
Yeah, I know.
But when he's on Howard Stern, or if you look at his Instagrams or if his Twitters or whatever, totally different human being outside of what you see in the show. Because in the real world, he's very loud, he's brash, the way he cusses people out and he says things. He's very, very New York, right?
Yes.
In the show, he's kind of an awkward dad, and he's like the toned down version of without all the cussing. So it's funny.
A little bit weird.
Yeah, it's fun. It's funny seeing him in the show. He's great in the show. He's really good, and he's a great actor. It's just funny seeing those two different sides. You know, the real Michael Rappaport and the TV Michael Rappaport, and seeing how much he can tone himself down. But anyway, it is a show you got to watch all the seasons. You can't just jump in on the new season. So Atypical season 3 is just hit Netflix. So you got 3 seasons to catch up and check it out. What else you got?
Okay, I have finally made it and started season 4 of The Good Place on NBC. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that we had missed like a season.
I told you we had.
During our move last year, and I'm realizing we missed a lot of shows during that time
I told you that, and
period
you ignored me.
because somebody decided, let's just cancel cable.
I told her, if we move and we start canceling televisions before we move, we're gonna miss shows.
We did.
We're gonna get confused, going off the cutting the wire and doing all streaming. We're gonna miss shows that we love watching. And now I have channels that I can't see shows, so I never get to see them.
I know.
I've now found out they don't come to Netflix or anything else, so they don't exist unless I go buy them or rent them.
I know.
She's starting to find stuff. I was like, I think we watched that. No, we didn't, woman. You ruined our lives.
Yeah, so I'm just now starting season 4 of The Good Place.
I know it's just.
Starring, who's in this show? Many people. Mila Jamil.
That we just talked about.
Jamila Jamil.
Kristen
Bell. Tony Danza.
No, Tony Danza. I knew you were going to say that. It's not Tony Danza.
I don't know what his name is. The other guy from Cheers. What's his name? The guy from Cheers, babe.
Well, it ain't Tony Danza because he's
not Tony Danza. Why do I always mix them up?
Why don't you look him up?
Well, because I wanted to remember, but I can't. Anyway, so now in season 4, it's like we're starting over.
Your name is not Tony at all.
I know it's not. Don't tell me. It's right here. Ted Danson from Cheers.
Ted Danson, not Tony Danza.
Same thing.
Not the same thing whatsoever.
All white guys look the same.
Oh my god.
That's so bad.
So racist.
Microaggression against white people. Anyways, so now in The Good Place season 4, it's like we're
I think it's the final season
We're restarting all over again.
Is 4 the final season or 5 the final season?
I have no idea. With the new experiment.
Are you watching the newest season?
I'm watching the one that's currently on right now.
I think this is the final season.
Okay. It's interesting, man, and it's been a great ride, and I really enjoyed season 3. I'm so sorry I've missed it until now, but it's really, really good. So check it out. Maybe you're already watching it. I'm way behind on the curve, obviously. What?
Totally not related to you, but one of our friends / viewers, Juan G.
Yay, what's up?
We call him Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme.
He just out of random. He's like, Krispy Kreme has a new donut, Thanksgiving donuts.
I don't like Krispy Kreme.
And it just made me laugh because it just came out of nowhere.
I don't like
we don't really like Krispy. I like the way he says Krispy Kreme,
but
we don't really like Krispy Kreme. No. Speaking of which, did you see that news article that Krispy Kreme shut that guy down?
No.
There was this area. Sorry, we're sidetracked, but we're going to talk about it because I was going to tell you the other day since we're already here, and he brought up Krispy Kreme. There was this guy. Apparently, there was nowhere in their area that had a Krispy Kreme. And there's a lot of people really love those donuts.
Yeah.
And so this guy was driving like 250 miles or something.
Aww.
And buying like 100 boxes of these donuts, right? Like dozens of them or 100 boxes, whatever. But then you go back to place and you sell them for like $17 or $18, $17 to $20 a box, right?
Yeah.
And then somebody found out Krispy Kreme shut him down. So after like 18, 19 trips, they shut him down because he was reselling. So it was this whole thing. So
I think you have the right to resell whatever you want.
No, you clearly don't because you're selling a brand, but
whatever.
It was an interesting
delivery
story.
Service.
Essentially that's what it was. He was like a college student or something. He was making the drive to pick them up and then delivering them and selling them.
Yeah, why not?
But anyway, that was our Krispy Kreme story.
Anyways, that's interesting. It's your turn.
Oh, did you finish your Good Place story?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Check out The Good Place.
Okay. The last show, not the last show, but the last one I'm going to talk about today. And there's another one. I was late to the party. We both had every intention of watching. I hope you actually will go sit and watch it eventually.
I will watch everything.
But
there's not enough time in the world to watch all the shows I want to watch.
But they sent me the second season. And I was like, Well, now I'm gonna have to go back and watch season 1 that I never watched. It's for the show's Yellowstone.
Oh yes.
Starring Kevin Costner, and it's essentially a mix of like the show Dallas meets The Sopranos meets Longmire.
I love it.
It's like, I believe it takes place in Montana, so the ranch and the landscape and all stuff kind of becomes its own character. But it's about this family of cattle ranchers. Kevin Costner's the father. Then there's like 3 sons and a daughter. One son's married. It's kind of dealing with Indian reservations and stuff. So one son's married to an Indian, so they live, and he's kind of estranged from his dad. So they live on the reservation, and he does his own thing. Then he has another son who's like some kind of an officer. I don't know if it's a wildlife preserve officer or whatever. Then you have another one that's a lawyer. Then you have a daughter who's like a business chick. I thought going the show was going to be very much more like a Dallas, kind of drama, like family drama business. This show is violent as hell. Like,
really, I wouldn't expect him to do. Oh my god,
like that. They're like criminals. They're like a criminal organization to the point to where, like, there's a guy that they fire, but when they fire him because he was beating up somebody else, like there's this rule on the ranch. The Cole Hauser, who Wings Hauser's son, who was one of the guys I worked with when I worked on Chase. I did some extra work and stuff on Chase, and he was the main cop, the main ranger, or whatever they were in that show. Anyway, and he's almost unrecognizable. He's got a beard. Oh, cool. He's kind of bulky looking. He's in like a black jacket, and he's kind of the enforcer on the ranch. And we got a backstory one episode with him to say how they find him, because like when they bring you on the ranch, like if you become kind of property of the ranch, they brand you.
Oh my gosh.
With the
that's thing. Not okay.
And when you're branded, that means you not only do you belong to them, nobody can touch you. Like in the whole town.
Well, that's kind of cool then.
So like somebody was gonna kick this one kid's ass, and his shirt ripped, and they saw the brand, and they just were all like, kind of like back up and say no, because these people are like showing up and beating people with axe handles, shooting and killing people. There's a guy that gets fired.
This is really violent.
He gets fired, and they tell him, take him to the train station, get him out of here, and then they just pull him over to the side of the road and they shoot him in the head and throw him off a mountain. Because he knew too much about their operation.
Oh my gosh.
So it's that kind of stuff. Then you got crooked politician stuff going on. You've got like Kevin Costner's telling, like, he's smacking people left and right from time to time, but he's also dealing with health issues, being the patriarch of trying to do the right thing, but also keep things running. And it's just like, it's like this crazy mix. Like every episode, there's at least 2 or 3 fights or a killing. And they have a rule on the ranch.
No, sit down.
Like the main enforcer guy, they have a rule on the ranch. There's no fighting allowed on the ranch. If you have a problem with someone you got to fight, you have to fight that guy. And he usually beats the shit out of everybody. Or crap, sorry. And so there's a lot of that. There's a lot of inner work. So you have the family drama, you have the reservation drama. You have
this is very long.
The stuff with you have the stuff with the cattling and the ranching and stuff, and the people trying to build pipelines and through their properties and that kind of the business stuff. Then you have the cowboys that work on the ranch and their own internal struggles.
Yeah, I'm sure they have drama with them themselves too.
Yeah, so like you have like the new guy that comes.
So then, if you get branded, can you never leave?
Not really. You're just there for life. Yeah. But you also start realizing. Like when they brand the one guy that the first time you find out this actually happens, he's not even a cowboy. He's just like this random guy. I think he owes money or something. I don't remember. And he goes, you can either do this or you can come work at the ranch and belong to the Yellowstone. And he's like, he goes, all right. And he goes, then the guy's like pulls the thing out and he goes, don't scream. And he like brands him right on the chest. And so like season 2 is now. I don't
like that.
Season 2 is just now come out on Blu-ray and DVD today. And there's his past is kind of coming back. So Lane Garrison is on the show right now.
Oh my gosh!
I'm
so happy. I'm gonna watch it just for that.
Him and another guy, they're like crackhead types, and they're beating this guy up. Which something's gonna horribly go wrong for them. So I don't think they're gonna be on very many episodes because they're beating the guy up that's branded.
I love him.
And there was another thing in the bar where they get in this fight, and these guys are beating the crap out of each other. And so he goes back, and they're like, "What happened to you?" And he's like, his face is all jacked up, and he's like, I was at the bar saying I was talking to this guy, and these guys jumped me and beat the crap out of me. And so they go back to the bar. And so they're in this bar, and there's like a big kind of open doorway area, and you just see a truck back up, and they let a bull into the bar. So the bull's now running around this bar,
Okay.
and so they're standing outside the only door you can leave.
Oh my
and as they're coming out,
they're stuck.
as people are running out the door, the guy's going, that guy. And when he comes out, they're cracking him with axe handles and then beating the crap out of him and letting them know you don't mess with us on this ranch. But even the police don't want to mess with Kevin Costner.
What's his name? Yeah, is he violent in the show too, or is
he?
Because I don't see him.
He smacks people from time to time, and he's very rough and hard.
Because isn't he the bodyguard?
Yeah.
From the Bodyguard
Yeah,
movie.
he's also from Dancing with Wolves and.
Yeah. Oh, I love Dances with Wolves.
Yeah. He is the Godfather, Tony
Okay.
Soprano in this, and
that just seems bizarre.
and he
to
don't
me,
jack
not a
around.
character.
I think we've seen him smile twice. In
My
two
mom
seasons.
and I watched Dances with Wolves together. She really liked it.
The movie Dances with Wolves is good for the first 2 hours. That last hour is a waste of time.
It's long,
but yeah, it's
okay. I'm gonna have to maybe sit in.
It is a great show. Like I went into it. Like I said,
you don't know what to.
I just watched the first season. I wanted to see it because it was Kevin Costner and you know doing TV, surprisingly doing TV series. I was never a huge Kevin Costner fan, but until he did I loved Robin Hood that he did back in the day, and I'm one of the few people that even like Waterworld. But when he started doing, remember he did that movie Criminal, I think it was called, where he was like that assassin or hitman or whatever. Yeah. Which is a great little action flick.
I liked it.
And then Draft Day was really good.
The Highwayman he did with what's his name?
Oh, the one with him and Woody Harrelson recently.
Woody Harrelson.
But yeah, so when I sat to watch the show, like I said, I had a perception of what I thought we were going to watch.
Yeah, of course, it's Kevin Costner.
And then the first scene of the first episode is him shooting a horse.
Okay. Because
of a car accident, or a cow. I don't remember what it is, but I'm talking about like up close with his pistol in the face, and then he's just walking down the street with a 6-shooter, and the cops show up. Nobody says a word that he's holding a gun, and I'm like,
who he is?
Well, I'm like, okay, this he's got some power. And like he punches the sheriff in the face, and nobody does nothing about it. He tells them what to do. People are like, is it okay if we come on your property to do such and such? Like there's an Asian tourist in one scene where they pulled over, they're on his property, and they're trying to take a picture of a bear that's roaming around in the orchard. And he's like, what, and they drop F-bombs and there's boobs in the show and stuff. And he goes out there and he's like, you need to get off the property that you can't. No, bear fine. So he pulls out a rifle and starts shooting and scaring people. And it's a crazy show. It's like, and the second season is better than the first. It's like more violent. It's more stuff happening. It's crazy. So I highly recommend Yellowstone. If you can check it out. Sadly, I haven't seen it on any of the streaming services available outside of New. I think it's a TNT series. I don't remember now. So I think that might be one of the channels that you have to actually buy the thing. I don't remember. What is it on? Does it say? I don't even think it's going to say there. Oh, well. Anyway, moving on. Check it out. If you can find Yellowstone, check it out.
Paramount Network.
Okay, yeah, it may be on Paramount Network then, though.
Who knows?
I don't know. But it's a great show. It is so well written, well acted, beautiful shot, very violent. It is not for children.
Okay.
Anyway. What else you got? Anything?
I have one thing, which is going to be a silly one, but I like it.
And then I have a little bit of news to go through.
Remember a few weeks ago, I was telling you about the Brady Bunch show, where it's like Building Brady, where they bought the HGTV bought the Brady house, they redid it. So they did the show, and then they did a second show, which was behind the scenes of the first show.
For God's sake.
Well, through that, there is this one other show which I've seen before, but I didn't really pay a lot of attention to. I've gone back and started it from the beginning, and it's called Good Bones. It's on HGTV.
That show again.
It's a mother-daughter team, and they buy and renovate houses, and I love them. They're so cool. So it's Mina and her mom, Karen. I'm all invested in the show, and her stepbrother is one that comes and does the demo. And then there's his dad, but it's convoluted because she's like, hey, this is Lenny, and my mom was his third wife, and these now are whatever. And I'm like, this is the most complicated little family drama because her and her brother aren't even from the same dad. But then that guy was, my mom was his third wife, but now his new wife actually works here. This is high drama.
This sounds like
family.
One of the guys when I used to deal with real estate. There was a guy, Mike. Remember, he used to do work for us and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember I'd owe him money for like work he did, and if we weren't able to meet up, I'd had to go to his ex-wife's beauty shop and give her the money because he was the best friends with her new husband, and they all hang out together still.
So convoluted. So, anyways, but it's the show Good Bones, and I like it. There you go. That's my new HGTV because I need an HGTV show at all the times. So that's my filler shows that I watch in the background when I don't have to pay attention to anything. I just need noise.
All right, so let me just give you these are
the news.
These are quick news. I didn't have time to go through a lot of stuff. So one, just a reminder: Disney Plus is hitting next Tuesday. So that next Tuesday is going to be a big explosion of
a lot to watch.
All things Fox, Disney. Did you hear?
Did you hear what I hear?
Did you hear what I hear? Did you know that there's already been talks that apparently there's going to be a lot of the Fox movies are going to get put into the Disney archive and not available anymore. So everybody's freaking out. You won't be able to get stuff, or they're going to start hoarding them like Disney does.
They probably will, and then they'll release it in 20 years.
Do special releases of stuff, and I don't know what else happened with that. But anyway, Disney Plus is next year. If you have Verizon, check with Verizon because they have some kind of special going for free Disney Plus. The web series Hot Ones that we're fans of.
Yes, where they eat the hot wings.
Yes, get its own game show on True TV called Hot Ones the Game Show, where I believe it's going to be contestants, not celebrities, but contestants are having to answer trivia questions while they're eating the hot wings and whatnot. So it's
that'll be so fun.
Probably goes steadily higher and higher.
I'm excited.
So there's that. Which also, because of the show Hot Ones, Shia LaBeouf was on Ellen, right? I'll have to show you if we got there.
Okay. I like Shia.
But he's promoting his movie Honey Boy that I think comes out this weekend.
Shia,
and on Hot Ones, he did the show and he talked about wearing these pink leotard type pants that he wore. Yeah. Because that was something Ellen asked him to do, and if he did it, she gave money to a charity or something. Yeah. So she was on Ellen, and she said, well, since you're on Hot Ones and you did this thing, she goes, we have another contest for you. And she goes, we'll give you $10,000 to your charity of choice for him to eat a ghost pepper. And he did. He just popped the sucker right in his mouth and ate it. And so he owns like a theater thing for kids. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've ever heard him talk about it. But he's already got kids that are already in like some TV shows and stuff like that. But he also, cool. It's kind of like my buddy's charity where he's taking kids to theaters and then so the money's all going to go towards that to help him more for his charity for that.
That's kind of cool.
So anyway, I just thought that was funny. But anyway, Hot Ones is getting.
Was he dying? Huh? Was he dying?
He does in the second half. When he eats it initially, he seems fine. It goes to commercial, and then it comes back to that hot seat thing she does. Yeah. And he's just like, I don't know what's happening right now. Everything's burning. It's really funny. I'll have to show you both. But anyway, so Hot Ones the game show is coming. Don't know a date yet, but coming to True TV. This is a weird bit of news. Clive Barker, who you know from Hellraiser, he's the writer.
Yes.
He did Hellraiser. He's a horror writer.
No, it is.
He has a thing called Books of Blood, which is a book, I'm assuming. Apparently, Seth MacFarlane is developing it for Hulu for like a series. So it's a big weird thing of Seth MacFarlane doing a Clive Barker thing, but
cool.
Who knows? He also has the Orville, which I think is shifting over to Hulu.
Really?
It's not on Fox anymore. That's why it's going to take so long before we see it again. Because they were just saying the time it wanted to take for him to produce the episodes he wanted, they moved it over. I don't remember if it was going to be Hulu, Netflix, or Amazon, but it's going to be on the streaming.
It's going to be somewhere.
I'm assuming it's going to be Hulu. If he's got this other deal with Hulu, it's probably going to be on Hulu. Also, Mayans, despite a bunch of the concern when Kurt Sutter originally said he was going to step away from Mayans, people weren't sure if he was going to keep going. Yeah. And then Fox/Disney fired Kurt Sutter a month or so ago from some issues. Apparently, there was a joke. It started, he said, with a bad joke, which was in the show. It was written in the show, and it was kind of a jab at Disney. And he said from there, but he's also been known for kind of being a pain in the ass and fighting with people. And he's since said, like, it was totally justified. And I apologize to anybody I've made feel bad. But anyway.
But when it's out there.
But
it's out there.
We are happy to know they did announce that they are renewing Mayans for season 3.
Oh, good job, I know you'll be happy.
Thank you. This new season has been badass. Sadly, there was one character that got killed off. And I was just reading an interview with him, and he was so irritated because he was so bummed out. Because for the most of the show, he's been kind of relegated to kind of the back.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of one of those left field, all of a sudden they kill you off, and you're like,
wait a minute.
What? He was like, I felt the same way, kind of thing. But and then this really big, weird freaking news.
Okay.
And I don't like it. It's
like what's his name? That kid trying to play
Walker?
Texas Ranger.
Yes, it's news like that.
Okay,
And,
lay it on me.
And of course, he's been arrested recently.
I know, and
for
that
beating up
drunken
people
brawl
in his own restaurant, beating up his own employees.
Mm-mm.
But anyway, that I don't know the ins and outs of it. But it is a very
We
similar
weren't there.
casting situation,
Okay.
but even more bizarre.
Okay, lay it
That
on
one
me.
at least can see him kind of pulling off not the Walker Texas
he's
Ranger,
big, he's
but
big,
being a
tall
ranger.
dude. Yeah,
Because we've seen him do action, kind of.
Kind of.
I can see him grow a beard and walk around in a cowboy hat. I can't see him ever being Chuck Norris. This is weirder.
Okay.
Okay.
What is it?
So we've had a TV show. We've had successful movies.
Okay.
They're developing an all-new Equalizer TV series. Okay. So that's cool news.
That's
and then
the
look,
one that
don't look at it.
Where Denzel's been.
That's Denzel being equal. So we got two badass
and then
movies.
the British guy.
Right.
Which was the TV. I loved that TV show.
Okay. So the new series is the casting is where it gets weird.
They're going to do new Equalizer?
Yes. They're doing a new Equalizer
Okay.
TV series. Exciting news. Starring. Are you ready for this? You would never in a billion years guess this.
Denzel.
No. Denzel's not going to do this.
Some British man.
No. First of all, it's not a man. It's a woman. Second of all, it's Queen Latifah. It is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. And they announced that they're developing a Queen Latifah series of the Equalizer. I don't know why. I can't envision it.
She's a woman bent on revenge.
I don't know. That's not even the problem. I can't envision her even in that role, right?
Because she's gonna have to be able to do some action.
She's a decent enough actress.
I've seen her. I love Queen Latifah.
I've seen her like in Set It Off. She's a badass tough chick.
Well, she was pretty cool in that weird bone collector train collection murder movie, whatever that one was.
But I just don't see her in that kind of show.
Kind of an action vigilante.
So anyway, that's the weirdest TV news for me that came out.
That's a little bit bizarre.
It is.
Is she going to be wearing like some leather coat?
I don't know anything other than.
And then suddenly be doing some kung fu's?
I don't know anything other than they announced that. So
that's weird. But I will support you, Queen Latifah.
I won't. I don't even know if I can.
We have to watch it though because
I gotta see the train wreck.
It's gonna be good or it's gonna be a train wreck.
Yeah.
Exactly. We gotta watch it.
So anyway, that's all the news that I went with. Other than the only other big Disney Plus news, they did announce that Avatar will be going to Disney Plus. So that makes everybody wonder if they're gonna get a lot of exclusive stuff because like all the movies and stuff that now come out. That like right now the Star Wars movies, things like that hit Netflix, not a single one of them are going to be going to Netflix anymore. They're all going to Disney Plus.
That's going to be just
all the Disney stuff is leaving Netflix.
So you've got to get Disney Plus.
If you want to see any of this stuff outside of Blu-ray, DVD, or in the theaters, that's the thing. But Disney Plus also has a lot of the stuff we haven't seen for years, like the Black Cauldron, which you've never seen.
I know, and I know you love it.
I'm super stoked for it, and I have this weird feeling I'm going to go back and watch them. Like this movie sucks. But I remember loving it so much. But part of my nostalgia for loving it was also that it's another Emmett Otter or Killer Clowns, Only the Strong Last Dragon thing where nobody knew what I was talking about. Now everybody knows what all these things are.
Which is good.
So anyway, so we'll see what happens. Netflix is going to develop its own thing. I think they're latching onto some other superhero stuff to make up for it, but we'll see what happens.
All right.
So that's it.
There you go.
So give your plugs.
Thank you so much for watching TV Tuesday exclusively on YouTube. Make sure you check out our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com. Always check out the contest page because there's always free stuff all the time. Thank you. You can watch us on Facebook. We're also on the Twitter. We're on the Instagram. We are all over the place. Just go look for Hollywood Matrimony. And what else do you need to know?
Well, it's ironic you mentioned contest.
Yes.
Because since we're talking about TVs,
yes,
we are still have the contest for The Haunting of Hill House, which I left it open a little bit longer because I got a couple extra copies. So that will be closing up this week. And it's a TV series from Netflix. And we're giving away copies of Yellowstone Season 2. So if you have not watched the show that I was just gushing about, you have the chance to at least get the second season.
There you go.
So you can jump in and do your thing from there.
All right. Cool.
So make sure you hit the subscribe button down below here or hit that nice little orb up there. And see whatever else is playing over here, like the all-new Bad Boys for Life trailer that dropped today.
Bad Boys.
Yeah. And also the teaser for Ip-Man 4 dropped today.
Yeah,
so it's on there.
So cool. It's like...
And thank 1G Krippy Kreme for jumping in. Sorry to get to answer some of your questions he was typing, but we were back and forth. But we always appreciate him checking us out. And he always shares the stuff out. So big props to Big G. And we will see everybody next time and probably during the day. Don't forget to join us Sunday for another episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. Yes. This week, it's all about Stephen King and other nonsense. So peace be with you, children.
Bye.